Warning, this video contains intense scenes of horror, suspense, and disturbing imagery that may not be suitable for children under 13. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Some stories are so chilling, so unexplainable, they cling to you like a shadow long after the lights go out. Tonight, we'll uncover 3 terrifying stories, accounts of horror and the unknown that will haunt your dreams. But be warned, not all nightmares end when you wake up. Are you ready? Story 1. The Crimson Tide. The Blackhaven Point lighthouse keeper, a solitary figure named Silas, once a decorated sailor, had always been wary of the Crimson Tide, a phenomenon that painted the coastal waters a blood-red hue, bringing with it whispers of ancient curses and drowned souls. After losing his family to a shipwreck during a freak storm that struck amidst a rare Crimson Tide, a tragedy he blamed himself for, and miraculously survived, Silas retreated to the lighthouse, vowing to guide others safely where he had once failed. One stormy night, the Crimson Tide surged, crashing against the lighthouse with terrifying force. Silas, trapped within the tower, felt a strange sensation, a tingling on his skin, as if unseen eyes were watching him from the depths. He peered out the window and saw it. A grotesque figure, half man, half sea serpent, rising from the churning waters, its eyes burning with an eerie, malevolent light. The creature reached towards the lighthouse, its claws raking against the glass, a guttural growl echoing through the storm. The air grew heavy, and the light in the tower flickered as though the creature's presence alone was enough to smother its glow. Suddenly, the storm seemed to intensify, the wind howling with a furious, almost sentient rage. Silas staggered as the lighthouse itself trembled under the relentless assault. It was as if the sea and the storm were working in unison, their power aimed directly at him. The air grew heavy, thick with an oppressive force that seemed to press against his chest, making it hard to breathe. In his mind, unbidden whispers rose, accusing him in tones that chilled him to his core. They spoke of his failure, his guilt, and his debt to the sea, a debt that had come to claim him. Silas clutched his head, his knees buckling as the weight of the voices bore down, their meaning as inescapable as the tide itself. By morning, there was no sign of Silas, only the still, cold sea and the faint stain of red at the shoreline, a grim reminder that the sea always collects its debts. Story 2. The Crooked Man. The Crooked Man, a shadowy figure lurking in the alleyways of the old town, was a creature of legend, a malevolent spirit said to steal the shadows of unsuspecting victims, leaving them hollow shells. Claire, a young woman with a troubled past, and a survivor of years of relentless abuse at the hands of her father, often found herself seeking solace. She was drawn to the darkest corners of the town, though she yearned to take the necessary steps to move beyond the shadows. One night, she walked cautiously, her steps hesitant as she retraced paths she continually swore she would never tread again. But this time, as she approached her destination, something clicked, and she changed direction, avoiding her childhood home filled with horrific memories and the source of countless nightmares. A sense of relief and of new beginnings washed over her, as if being born again. With a smile, she cut through the dimly lit alleyway to return to her apartment. With a sudden pop, the streetlight blew out, cloaking her in total darkness. In an instant, she felt a chilling presence behind her, a cold touch that seemed to drain the life from her very soul. She turned to see the Crooked Man, his form elongated and grotesque, his eyes burning with an eerie, malevolent light. As he reached for her, Claire felt her shadow detaching from her body, drawn towards the Crooked Man like a moth to a flame. But amidst the encroaching darkness, a defiant spark ignited within her. She remembered the countless nights she had endured, the battles fought in silence against her abusive past. She had survived worse than shadows. Clutching her cell phone, she frantically swiped to turn on her flashlight, its beam cutting through the inky blackness. The Crooked Man recoiled, his grotesque figure twisting in agony under the sudden light. Summoning her courage, Claire dashed toward the nearest streetlight. Though her hands trembled, she managed to run all the way home, staying in the light and avoiding the alleys. Exhausted but alive, Claire collapsed on her bed, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She had faced her fears, both past and present, and prevailed. The crooked man may still haunt the dark corners of the town, but Claire vowed to shed the lingering shadows of her past and step fully into the light. Story 3. The Tollkeeper's Shadow. Pine Creek Gorge was home to an ancient toll bridge, its stone arches crumbling with age. Though no one used the bridge anymore, the Tollkeeper was said to remain, demanding a toll from those foolish enough to cross. The locals warned travelers of the sign that read, "One life, one coin." One stormy night, a hiker sought shelter and found himself at the foot of the bridge. Ignoring the eerie tales, he ventured across, scoffing at the superstition. Lightning illuminated the gorge, and for a moment he thought he saw a figure standing ahead, a cloaked shape, featureless and still. As he reached the center of the bridge, the wind stopped, and an unnatural silence enveloped him. Then came the sound of footsteps, matching his own but louder. Panic surged as a shadow rose from the ground, towering over him, its form a swirling void of darkness. He ran, heart pounding, but the shadow followed relentlessly. When the townsfolk found his body the next morning, his face was frozen in terror. A single rusted coin lay in his hand, and his belongings were untouched. No one dared retrieve the coin, for they knew it belonged to the Tollkeeper. From then on, the bridge remained silent, save for the whispers of the wind. The locals stayed far away, knowing the Tollkeeper always took his due.